The Young and the Restless spoilers. Welcome back to our channel, soap fans. It is a beautiful day to dive into the absolute chaos that is Genoa City right now. Grab your coffee, tea, or whatever strong beverage you need, because we have a massive amount of ground to cover with the upcoming June 1st to 5th episodes. The drama is off the charts, and I am ready to break it all down. Let's get right into the madness. I cannot believe what they are doing with Matt Clark right now. I mean, seriously, are the writers actually expecting us to buy this entire narrative? Roger Howarth is an absolute legend, don't get me wrong. I have loved him in everything he has ever done, and he brings this incredible, chaotic, magnetic energy to the character of Matt. He is a phenomenal actor, and he has recently shared his thoughts on playing this complex villain, which is great. But this amnesia storyline, are you kidding me? After everything Matt has done to the Newman family, after the literal physical and psychological torture he has put them through over the last few months, we are supposed to just sit back and watch Nick Newman, of all people, try to help him get his memory back. Wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's back up and look at the facts. So, the spoilers for Monday, June 1st say that Nick, played by the always earnest Joshua Morrow, is taking the lead in helping Matt regain his memories. I'm sorry, but what? Am I the only one who remembers that just a few weeks ago, Matt Clark deliberately gave Nick poison drugs laced with fentanyl? Matt literally orchestrated a scenario that pushed Nick so far over the edge of his addiction that he crashed his car into a cliff. Nick was left bleeding, unconscious, and facing potential permanent brain damage. Nikki was screaming in the hospital corridors in pure agony. Adam was guilt-ridden and panicked. The entire Newman empire was shaking to its core because of what Matt did. And now, suddenly, Nick is out here playing Florence Nightingale for the man who tried to end his life. Does Nick have brain damage from the crash that makes him forget who attempted to murder him? Or is this some twisted way for Nick to keep his enemy close? I kinda hope it's the latter, because if Nick genuinely feels sorry for Matt and wants to rehabilitate him, I'm going to throw my remote at the television screen. It makes absolutely zero sense for Nick's character to be this forgiving or this naive. Nick has always been the protector, the golden boy who stands up for his family. Seeing him coddle the architect of his own destruction is infuriating. And let's be totally honest with ourselves here. We all know Matt is faking this amnesia. We literally saw him drop the act when Noah confronted him back in May. Noah saw right through the lies, beat the crap out of him, and Matt was just playing his sick little games. And then he tried to use Patty Williams as a pawn, only to arrogantly toss her aside like garbage when he decided he didn't need her anymore, telling her he works alone and doesn't trust her. Matt is a calculating, arrogant, ruthless sociopath. He does not have amnesia. He is playing the entire town of Genoa City like a fiddle, and somehow Nick is falling for it. It makes my blood boil just typing this out. Remember when they tried this amnesia redemption arc with other villains in the past? Yeah, didn't work then either. You can't just erase decades of trauma and abuse with a convenient bump on the head and a confused stare. But of course, Roger Howarth is acting his heart out, making Matt look all lost and vulnerable. And it's infuriatingly good television, even though the plot makes me want to scream into a pillow. You can just see the subtle smirks Howarth sneaks into his performance when no one is looking. He knows exactly what he is doing. Thank God for Sharon Case. Seriously, thank God for Sharon Newman. The spoilers for Tuesday. June 2nd reveal that Sharon is the only person with 2 working brain cells in this entire town because she is openly questioning whether Matt's sudden change of heart is genuine. Yes, Sharon. Call him out, drag him. I mean, think about what Sharon has been through with this monster. He lured her and Noah to an abandoned gas station in Vegas. He held them hostage at gunpoint. He forced Sharon to make that terrifying, reckless decision to drive her car off a cliff just to save her son and herself from his twisted games. Sharon has looked into Matt's eyes and seen pure, unadulterated evil. She knows that a leopard doesn't change its spots, and Matt Clark certainly doesn't just wake up one day as a misunderstood, innocent victim. Sharon has always been the fierce protector of her family. Even when she makes her own mistakes, her maternal instincts and her deep, unbreakable bond with Nick are undeniable. Seeing Nick, who is still recovering from his own horrific trauma and addiction, trying to help the abuser has to be tearing Sharon apart. I can just picture the scenes now. Sharon pacing back and forth in crimson lights, her eyes wide with that mix of panic and fierce determination, telling Nick that he is walking straight into a deadly trap. And Nick, in his stubborn, thick-headed Newman way, probably arguing that they have to do the right thing and help a man who doesn't know his own name. I swear, if Nick doesn't listen to Sharon, I'm going to lose my mind. She has survived way too much to let Matt Clark destroy their family again. I know some people are loving this dynamic, seeing Roger and Joshua share these intense, psychological scenes, but personally, I need Sharon to expose Matt's fake amnesia before someone else gets killed. And let's not forget the massive elephant in the room, Victor Newman. Victor is currently sitting on an offer from the unhinged Patty Williams to buy Matt's exact location for $2 million. If Victor finds out that his son is playing nurse to this psychopath instead of turning him in, Victor might just pay Patty the money and have Matt permanently eliminated himself. And honestly, I wouldn't even be mad at Victor for it. Matt deserves whatever dark fate is coming to him. Okay, let me take a deep breath. Back to the point. Because we desperately need to talk about the other massive news for the week of June 1st to 5th. Vivica A. Fox is back as Dr. Stephanie Simmons. Let's just take a moment to celebrate the casting, because Vivica is an absolute icon. She hasn't been on this soap in 3 decades, 30 years. And she steps back onto the sets of Genoa City like she never left, looking gorgeous and commanding the screen. I am so here for this. But her return is not just a fun little nostalgic cameo. She is stepping right into the middle of one of the most heartbreaking, high-stakes storylines on the show right now. We know Malcolm Winters is fighting for his life with aplastic anemia. It has been absolutely devastating watching Lily, Devin, and the rest of the family scramble desperately to find a bone marrow donor. Lily was crushed when she found out her twins weren't a match. And then, in walks Kane Ashby, UGH. Do not even get me started on Kane right now. Kane finds out he is the only viable match for Malcolm, and instead of just doing the decent human thing and saving his former father-in-law's life, he decides to blackmail Lily. He wants total control of Chancellor Winters in exchange for his bone marrow. It is the most despicable, ruthless, disgusting move Kane has ever made, and I am sick to my stomach just thinking about how he is exploiting a dying man. So, the spoilers for Wednesday, June 3rd say that Stephanie is going to face a very difficult decision, and Nate Hastings is going to step in to help her. Now, let's connect the dots here. Stephanie is a doctor. She was best friends with Nate's mother, the legendary Dr. Olivia Winters. Stephanie knows the Winters family deeply. She knows exactly what Malcolm means to them. What if Stephanie has found out about Kane's blackmail? Or what if she has discovered an alternative, experimental treatment for Malcolm that is highly risky? Or maybe, just maybe, she found a medical loophole or a secret in Kane's records that could force him to donate without Lily having to sign away her entire family legacy. Nate helping Stephanie make this decision is huge. Nate has been so stubborn and corporate lately, especially with the whole Holden-Novak paternity reveal. Nate didn't want to accept Holden as Malcolm's son, acting all resistant and cold. But when it comes to Malcolm's actual survival, Nate is a doctor first and a son second. I can totally see Nate and Stephanie huddled in a dimly lit office at Memorial Hospital, looking over Malcolm's charts, debating the severe ethical boundaries of what they have to do. If Stephanie has to break medical protocol, violate HIPAA, or risk her own medical license to save Malcolm and stop Kane's extortion, you know Nate is going to support her. I mean, Nate has crossed massive ethical lines before in his career. so he is the perfect partner in crime for a medical dilemma of this magnitude. Imagine being Stephanie. You come back to town after 30 years, hoping to catch up with old friends, maybe share some fond memories of Olivia. And suddenly you are thrust into a life-or-death crisis involving Olivia's brother-in-law and her son. Vivica A. Fox is going to absolutely crush these dramatic scenes. The gravitas and emotional weight she brings to the screen is exactly what this storyline needs to ground it. I just hope this difficult decision doesn't blow up in their faces. Because if Kane finds out they are plotting against him or trying to bypass his demands, he might just walk away entirely, and that would be an absolute death sentence for Malcolm. Lily is already hanging by a thread, and I don't think she could survive losing Malcolm because of Kane's greed. This entire week is going to be an absolute roller coaster of emotions. On one side of town, we have the twisted psychological warfare of Matt Clark manipulating Nick's apparent savior complex, while Sharon desperately tries to ring the alarm bells before disaster strikes again. On the other side, we have a literal, heart-pounding race against time to save Malcolm Winters, with Stephanie and Nate holding the keys to his survival while Kane plays a sick game of corporate god. I am exhausted just typing this all out, but I cannot look away. I just need the writers to give us some real payoff here. I need Matt's fake amnesia to be exposed in the most humiliating, public way possible. I want Nick to wake up and realize he has been played for a fool. And I desperately need Kane to be taken down a peg by Stephanie and Nate. Anyway, I am getting way too worked up, but that's exactly what this show does to me. I've been emotionally invested in these characters for years, and when they do things that make me crazy, I just have to vent it all out. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are you actually buying Matt's amnesia act? Are you thrilled to see Vivica A. Fox back on your screens? Do you think Kane is going to get away with his vile blackmail? Sound off, because I definitely need to know I'm not the only one losing my mind over this week's episodes.